What does flow mean to you? Flow is a state of mind, a state in which a person becomes fully immersed in an effortless and continuous progression. To me, the ultimate goal in jiu-jitsu is finding that perfect roll with perfect and effortless flow. I'm Professor Hayden Martz, and this is the Flow BJJ podcast. Hello and welcome to the Flow BJJ podcast. Today I have white belt James and Hayleigh with us. How you doing, guys?
Pretty good.
I'm good.
Good. So previous episode we talked about, basically we just kind of sat down and talked about our favorite grapplers, which was fun. Today I want to talk about the quote unquote must learn techniques for anyone really, but for a white belt specifically, some of the stuff that we think you should learn right away. So we're going to have some different perspectives here. We have a black belt perspective, we have a white belt perspective, and we have a wrestling perspective. So James, how long have you been training?
So I joined the gym back in, I think, May, but I didn't really start training. I was a bit of a slacker up until about, I want to say, October.
Okay. So consistently training 6 months,
Yeah.
8 months or so. Okay.
Yeah.
So this will be good because you're going to know, well, at least for my list, you're going to know most of these things, but it's going to be things that you've learned recently enough that they're going to be sort of fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
So first one for me, we do it every class, but a lot of people don't realize how important it is, and that's shrimping, or if depending on your lineage, snakies, hip escapes. You know, different people call it different things, but that hip escape movement to create space for me is something that you have to have. Like you can't, it's a must have.
You
know?
can't escape any position without knowing how to sneaky.
Right. What do you guys have on your list?
So, well, one of the things that I'd also like to kind of talk about, just this kind of goes with like body awareness or whatever, is the importance of your hip positioning.
Yes.
I think that because you've been talking about it a lot lately. You've been making examples of you can't come up onto somebody and push the pressure if you're on your side or you're on your back. You have to have your hips facing towards the floor.
Right.
And I've noticed a lot of people will get into a position and they're kind of just like, oh no, I'm stuck. And it's like, no. If you just move your hips just a little bit, you can get that much more space. Mm-hmm. I think that's a really good thing for a lot of people to focus on. Is just understanding that all it takes is a simple little switch to create that much more distance.
Yeah, for me, that's third on my list, so that's a good one too, is hips. I think what shrimping is, as far as creating space, hips is like everywhere. Like, it doesn't matter if you're passing the guard, if you're playing guard, if you're in mount, side control, wherever, your awareness of where your hips are at is super important.
Going along with the snaking, part of the entire move is framing during the move. So like when we practice them going down the mat, like using the arms in the correct way, like so that when you're in an actual match, you know how to use your frames, which I think is probably the most important part of jiu-jitsu, or else you're just going to be smothered the entire time. Also knowing how to break down people's frames. But both aspects I think are really important.
Tom, well, framing is second on my list, so you guys are doing great. Tom is huge when it comes to framing. Like he has an entire instructional just about framing, which if you don't have it is really, really good. Framing allows you to create space between you and the other person, but not use hardly any energy because you're using bone structure to maintain distance, which a lot of people think they understand framing, but it's like they're bench pressing instead of framing. You know what I mean? Where your biceps are engaged, your chest is engaged, as opposed to a fully locked out arm or a fully bent arm where, you're not using any energy or any muscle to maintain the position. Getting back to hips though, a perfect example of having good hip control is Hayleigh's most recent Instagram post from wrestling. She had what was it, 7 matches?
8 matches. I went 7-1.
7-1. And if you watch the video, feel free to watch it. It's like 90 seconds long maybe, but the hip control, I mean, it's not just jiu-jitsu that hips are important, it's wrestling. I had the other night talked to at her wrestling banquet, I talked to her 2 coaches after. That was all they could rave about from watching that video, was the ability to move your hips in multiple directions, but you have to know where to move them, but there's like a sensitivity that goes along with it.
It was kind of crazy because like in those matches I didn't really think about what I was doing, so like my hips were just like moving midair like as I'm being thrown, and I would come up on top and I'm like, okay, that's awesome. Let's go.
I think that's something that you can work on too. I don't think that, with frames, I feel like if you gave me 2 hours with a brand new person to jiu-jitsu, I can explain and show frames to them, and they're going to understand it and be able to do it right away. Hips, that takes time. Like, you got to start learning it right away, but there's a sensitivity that's required that you have to sort of learn and feel. You can't just be told how to do it.
And there's so much that comes with it, not only defensively but offensively. Controlling your opponent's hips and just understanding where like because that's usually where like your center of balance is. That's where you're gonna get most of your power from, is just in the ability to move your hips in any which way. And knowing how to, and knowing that you should disable your opponent's abilities to move their hips is very important.
I was doing that with someone today. I don't remember who it was when we were training this morning. I wanted to try to hold them down, but they were significantly smaller than me. And I wanted to hold them down by sort of just framing on either side of their hip and not put any weight on them, and see if I could still keep them in one spot without pressure. And there's different ways to hold people down, but the goal is the same. Prevent their hips from moving, and you're going to have a lot more success. A perfect example of not knowing where your hips are at is watching the difference between a good and a poor knee cut pass. The direction that your hips are pointing during the move, like some people are cutting hard away from their opponent, some people are driving right at the sternum. Like, there's angles there that you have to kind of feel and be aware of too. Next one for me on the list is head control. Both sides of that coin are super important. You can't allow your head to get controlled by your opponent. Whether you're standing, you're on the ground, you're playing guard, they've passed your guard, you can't allow head control, and you really need to try to get head control, obviously, offensively. The biggest advancement, or one of the biggest advancements I've seen from Hayleigh over the past 3 months since ECI is, or not even 3 months, honestly, is her awareness of people trying to control her head. And the first half of her ECI match, that was Tom's biggest thing. Tom was cornering her with me, and he's like, she needs to fix that. She can't allow people to control her head like that. And that's something that we corrected. And now, like, even in wrestling matches at a fairly high level, her preventing other people from controlling the head is paying huge dividends, and it applies to anyone, anywhere. Like, don't let someone hold on to your head. It's important.
Yeah, if somebody can control your head, or even simply just the direction that you're facing with you looking, even they're almost completely controlling. They are controlling your like center of motor control. It's like when you're teaching somebody a takedown, when I was learning it, they always said, look at your target and not at the floor, because we've had kids go head first into the floor because that's where they were looking.
100%.
And if somebody, mid-shot can stuff your head down, that's where you're going to go.
Right. Yep. The same thing when Dennis is teaching judo. I spent a lot of time with Dennis. A lot of the newer guys haven't really seen him very much, but he actually will be back on Tuesday, which is going to be awesome. The first thing he tells you, like, you grip up with the other person who are practicing judo. No, it's not the same as wrestling. It's different, but the first thing he tells you is like, why are you looking at the floor? What's down there that you need to see? You can see where your opponent's feet are without bending your head down and looking at the floor. Just using your vision, like you can feel where they are. You don't need to be looking at the floor. And I think that's big in wrestling, like you said, and in judo, jiu-jitsu, any type of stand-up. Like, be aware of where your head's at, for sure.
I think butt scooting is really important. Like for playing guard especially, like knowing how to move around when someone is on the feet and being able to match their pace by being like in a significantly, I would say, like less active position. It's really helpful to know like how you can move side to side, forward and backward, create distance and close off distance to be able to start attacking. So knowing how to butt scoot, I think, is really important, especially when you're, because a lot of the time people are standing passing now. And I think,
well, we've added in butt scooting forward and backward to almost every warm up, and I feel like butt scooting is just a faster version of shrimping. Shrimping, you're in a supine position on your back. Butt scooting, you're sitting up in like a seated position where you can move inherently faster because you can use your hand and your foot to move further distance and quicker. But you're right, it's super important to be able to take space away or create space very, very quickly, because standing passing is fast and it's easy to get out of position if you're not good at butt scooting and moving around. Next one on the list for me is, well, I'll put both of these together, to be honest with you, posture and distance management. So posture sort of goes into the head control thing, but there's more to it than that, because there's different positions where posture is important. When you're breaking someone's guard open, triangle, if you're stuck in the beginning parts of a triangle, your posture is important. There's multiple places where if you have bad posture and you continue to go in the direction you were planning on going instead of fixing your posture, you're going to end up having a rough day.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you got somebody who likes to triangle you and you're keeping your head, like we said, keeping your head down. That's not good.
Yeah. Gabe used to snatch me up in triangles all the time because I would, when I first started, I would literally put my head in the center of their chest so that I could use a little bit extra force to get their hands off of me, because I didn't know any techniques to get them off of me. And it would be right down there and you'd set up the triangle and I'd be doomed.
Yep. The same goes for the bottom, honestly. And you hear me say this whenever I'm teaching class. Posture, we just talked about standing passing. Is someone holding you down? If the answer is no, then why are you laying on your back? Sit up, get up, and even stand up, hip heist and stand up. If they're not holding you down, there's no reason to stay on the ground. So even posture from the bottom can be important. And along those same lines, distance management, butt scooting, posture, that all goes together, where there's and it's a feel thing too. It's like, I'm not going to pretend to know a ton about striking because I don't teach any type of striking arts, just jiu-jitsu, but distance management, where you're in the pocket and you're out of the pocket, that applies to grappling as well, where I want to be close enough to tie myself to my opponent, or I want to be far enough away that I can maintain the guard easily. That middle ground where they're close enough to pass, but I'm not close enough to prevent it, that's not where you want to be.
Yeah.
You guys have any more on your list of early techniques to learn?
One that I wanted to talk about kind of actually still ties into that. It's just bodily awareness in general. It's a very big safety thing, not only for you as a practitioner, but for your opponents, for your teammates, everybody that you're going with. You can't just come in and fling your body around wildly.
For sure.
Because if you get caught in like an arm bar and you just try to like roll away, you're going to make it more tight. You're going to hurt yourself. Or if you try to, I saw somebody try to cartwheel past somebody's guard.
A brand new person?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Like literally jump into a cartwheel over their guard. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a concussion waiting to happen.
Yeah, I mean, Safety is a big thing. Here's the thing. We talk a lot about competition in our school, but the reality is very few people are going to make their living training jiu-jitsu, which means that almost everyone has a job of some sort that they need to go to the following day after training. So you being a jerk and trying some crazy flying submission that hurts either yourself or both of us is not a good idea. Another must-learn technique, which this is probably going to be the most basic must-learn technique of anything we've mentioned, and that's tapping. If you're stuck and you don't know how to get out and it's starting to hurt, just tap.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you're 6 months into jiu-jitsu or you're 6 years into jiu-jitsu and you're in an arm bar and you know the escape and you're trying to get the escape, you're trying to get your hips turned for the hitchhiker or whatever, and your elbow pops, right? Yes, it's going to happen. And you're going to be out for a few weeks and then it's going to hurt for a few months, but you can still train through it and everything's fine. But if you're in a fully extended arm bar and you either A, don't know how to get out, or B, can't get out, then just tap, because waiting until it hurts more and more and more, there's no use of that.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of have that issue with triangles. I will literally sit in one of Meg's triangles for about 2 rounds straight, fighting for my life, trying to get out of it, because it doesn't bother me that much in the moment. And then eventually I'll just, I'll be like, okay, I got a tap here. And then I'll have a migraine for the rest of the day.
Chokes are a little bit different though. I mean, triangles your neck's going to be sore, but let's say it's like a rear naked choke, like the penalty for not tapping is passing out, and you're probably going to be okay like a half an hour later. Yeah. If you don't tap to some sort of arm lock or leg lock, like the penalty is months of pain.
Physical pain.
Right. So I can see it a little bit if it's a choke.
All right, thank you.
But I mean, even still, some chokes turn into neck cranks when you don't tap or if they're not applied correctly. So, I mean, you can end up with a sore neck too, or a bruised windpipe or whatever. But yeah, I would say it's okay to hang in there with chokes a little more. It's also good to feel what a choke is like when it's, pretty deep into the process. Whereas an arm lock, like,
you don't want to feel what that's like.
You don't want to feel what that's like.
So two that I have, sprawls and break falls, I think are really important.
Yep.
Break falling, so especially when you're doing stand up in the gym or wrestling, knowing how to fall without hitting your head is really, really nice. And being able to sprawl when people are trying to take you down, or being able to sprawl while passing, or in any, really knowing how to be on your toes while keeping pressure down with your chest is really important and helpful in jiu-jitsu or wrestling.
Same, and this goes, this entire list is kids and adults too. And with you teaching the kids class, these are all concepts that they have to be taught right away, even more so than adults for their own safety, because kids are crazy, man. If they don't know what to do, they just go harder.
They have the mindset that they're invincible, but in reality, they're so fragile.
Right. They're bendy, they're fast, they're small. So, yeah, I think especially for kids, break falls and sprawls are really, really important.
Oh, we put them through that.
That's good. I mean, the other things are important too, but from a safety standpoint, break falls and sprawls for kids, that's going to be like right away. Mm-hmm. You can add in the framing and the shrimping and things like that. A few classes in, that's not going to be something where they get hurt. Whereas a sprawl or falling incorrectly, you can get hurt right away. So that's definitely two, super important things. Let's see here. What else do I have on my list? I think that's my tight initial list. Mm-hmm. My plan, which I don't know if I told you guys this or not, is I'm working on a video library a private video library for our school that'll be on a private YouTube page, which is every technique that you need to learn to go from white to blue belt. Mm-hmm. So it may be, I don't know yet, it may be 30 videos, it may be 50 videos, but they're going to be for our school only, so they'll be password protected. But when you have a new person, or even you have someone 6 months in who wants to like start practicing for their blue belt or whatever, you know, they can go online, they can reference these 20, 30, 50 2-minute videos. Hey, this is how you do an ogoshi. This is how you should be framing from the guard. This is how you pass the guard 3 different ways. This is how you sweep someone 3 different ways, stuff like that. That's going to be one of the next things that I have a plan for our school. All right, guys, so we'll finish out the episode here with just kind of a casual conversation about the top positive outcomes from training jiu-jitsu. So first off, the bad side of jiu-jitsu, you're probably going to get injured at some point. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, for me, I made it 8 or 9 years without getting injured at all. And then it was incredibly horrific. 3 surgeries. Leg will never be the same, but that's not the norm. Like, the injuries are not usually that horrific. You know, maybe a sprained elbow, sprained shoulder, knee, ankle, stuff like that. That's the bad side. But there's a lot of upside to training. Mm. So let's talk about some of the positives that we can, what do you tell a brand new person who's never trained jiu-jitsu before? Maybe they don't want to be a fighter. They just want a hobby. What are the benefits of jiu-jitsu?
One of the things I lead off the rip with is I know that a lot of people want to get into shape.
Yep.
And jiu-jitsu, I mean, it's almost the perfect exercise, almost perfect workout. You're constantly under pressure, so your muscles are constantly activated. It's a cardio workout as well. So not only are you getting stronger, but your heart's racing. You're pushing the pace. It's going to build up your physical conditioning overall. And I think people, honestly, like when they're thinking about like, oh, I want to go try something out. I don't really like the gym. I don't like to lift the weights. You have this thing that takes your mind off of it. Because not only are you physically conditioning yourself, but you're learning an art, and it's a bit distracting from the fact that you are sweating and bruised and
yeah, I mean, and you're forced to do it.
Yeah.
Like you're pushed out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether you want to do something or not. Like, you're there, you signed up for it, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why, jiu-jitsu is it's very difficult to judge who's going to stick around and who's not based on even like 3 or 4 classes. I think it's hard to know.
Some of the people who come in are like, yeah, I'm going to do this. This is awesome. You never see them again.
Yeah. I saw somebody, Sandy and I went out to dinner the night before last, and I saw somebody that I forget his name. He trained, and he signed up, maybe, 22, 23-year-old kid, and looked like he was loving it, trained hard. And then when his first, month of training, when it came time to renew the membership for the second month, he stopped training. Like, and I saw him and I'm like, I remember that guy. I thought he was going to stick around, but apparently not, And other people who I don't want to say wrote him off right away, but like didn't expect them to keep training are.
I feel like I'm one of those people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, maybe.
You don't have to sugarcoat. It's okay. I didn't show much promise.
No, it happens with kids and adults, though. And it almost happens more often with kids for me, where like you might have like a super, super shy 12-year-old girl, and you're like, I don't know if jiu-jitsu is for her. And then like within a month, she's a killer.
Yeah.
And it's like,
We have a couple of those.
I never
Oh,
would
yeah.
have expected that. Yeah. There's a few of them that are like, I mean, speaking of that, all the girls are killers compared to the boys. I
Oh
have no
my
idea.
word. Yeah.
I'm like trying to make the highlight videos, and the girls are just all over them. It's just like,
I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
I've
they
been trying
also
to.
have been filling the mats too. Like it's
Yeah.
mostly them there.
Yep.
I've been trying to get the boys to be more pumped up. And like usually I'm like, come on, man, put something behind that. And he'll just look at me and go, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Come
yeah.
on.
So
Come on. Work with me here.
yeah, so you can't like guess. And
Yeah.
you'll start to see this the longer you train as you're there for a year or 2 or 3. You'll be like, you'll start to like eyeball people when they come in and be like, I wonder if this guy's going to be back. Honestly, for me, at first it was really difficult because a brand new person would come in, I would like fully invest everything I had in them right away. Like first class, I don't want to say abandon the people that are already there, but like really put forth an effort to make this one person. I want to show them how amazing jiu-jitsu was, like, and show them like 5 moves and like, talk to them for 15 minutes after class. And then I would do all that and then they'd never show up again. And it's like, so bizarre. And it was always, I loved class, I'll see you tomorrow. Never show up again.
Then you get the text,
So
hey, can you
crazy.
cancel my membership real quick?
Inside fact, people don't even do that. They just cancel their credit card. They don't even have enough guts to call you and be like, hey, yeah, jiu-jitsu's not for me.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Are you serious? That
Yeah,
happens?
100%. Yep. Happens all the time.
Honey, I got to sync my credit score real quick. I don't want to go back to jiu-jitsu.
Right. So they just, they cancel their card, report it lost or whatever, and get a different one and cancel the show. Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
So crazy.
Actually, that goes on to one of the ones that I said is just mental improvement.
Yes.
Kind of goes along with like, you said like the shy 12-year-old too. Sometimes jiu-jitsu just gets people to open right up.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who weren't super social and then they joined the gym and then they just turned into social butterflies. Like I have coffee every Saturday and Sunday with Gabe.
Yep.
And we were talking actually today. He goes, yeah, no, I never really reached out or spoke to anybody really. And then I joined jiu-jitsu and suddenly I feel so great. I'm hanging out with everybody and stuff like that.
Yeah. There's a few people like that. And along the same lines, there's a particular person, I'm not going to list names, but person that I, one, did not expect to come back after their first class or 2, and 2, didn't expect to go from being super, super shy to being like a fully invested team member. And it's crazy what jiu-jitsu can do that, you know. On the opposite side of that, the next one on my list is jiu-jitsu allows you to de-stress. So
Yeah, I was thinking of that. Like,
if you're like, even for me, I have a stressful job, like managing an entire car dealership, and I have had some really long days and then walk on the mats and like everything's great again, or, we have guys in our academy, we have doctors, lawyers, financial advisors. Let's look at Eric. Eric's a financial advisor. If the market drops during the day, like 5%, you've got clients losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm sure that's probably a really stressful day. But the moment you start live training jiu-jitsu, you cannot think about anything else. Like, the moment you think of anything other than what's happening to you, you're going to get choked unconscious.
yeah, I was gonna say that. I feel like jiu-jitsu is very therapeutic. When you're rolling, you're literally like can't. Like, you don't think about anything else, I feel like. Like, I don't think about really anything when I'm rolling.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a spot where I can, like, just chill.
I don't think that you can think about anything else while you're rolling.
No, that's how you get snatched up.
Yeah.
And then if you do, then you're in a different spot and then you stop thinking about it immediately.
Yeah.
Right. But, I mean, think about that if compared to other athletic activities, like, say, running or
You're just
lifting
left
weights.
alone with your thoughts.
Exactly. It's the complete opposite. Like the whole time you're thinking about all the problems you have.
Yeah.
I mean, and even that I hear running is therapeutic too for some people, but you can't think about anything else when you're doing jiu-jitsu.
I also think just the environment of flow itself might have a bit of an impact on that for some people, because it's an incredibly inviting gym.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
I think that our team is very welcoming to new people. Anyone who really wants to put in the effort to get better at jiu-jitsu is gonna get better no matter what.
Yeah.
Like there's no way not to.
Yeah, as soon as I started like showing up more consistently and people started like recognize who I was, I came in one day and I remember I sat down. It was just like I normally would. I would sit down by myself. And then I think it was Austin. He just walks up to me and goes, "Hey man, come sit over here." I sat over there and just learned everybody's name, started talking, and just got welcomed into the group immediately.
Yep. There's a few people who either based on their schedule or based on their life, whatever, will leave like halfway through live training.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, or maybe in 3/4 through live training, I feel like those people sometimes are missing out on the team. We spend way too much time at the gym, to be honest with you, but like the team atmosphere at the end of the night where everybody's just finished training, maybe someone's practicing some move that they've been working on that's not quite working for them. So there's 2 guys over here doing that.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 people sitting on the wall, just thinking about training, talking. It's a good team camaraderie that we have, I think.
Yeah, our gym will literally sit there for about, I want to say like an hour, almost hour and a half sometimes, just talking about
Yeah, that
jiu-jitsu.
happened the other day. Do you not recall?
I do recall.
It's good though. I mean, sometimes we got to reel it in occasionally, but it's really good. It's good for everybody.
Oh yeah, it's so incredibly helpful. I mean, I just remember a few weeks ago, I had a day where I felt like just everything was falling apart. And I grabbed my gi, I'm looking at my car, I'm like, man, I am miserable. And then I walked in there, I saw all the kids, and I was like, you know what? This is great. This is going to be the rest of my day. I don't care about anything else.
Yep, 100%. So we already inadvertently touched on a lot of the other parts of my list. I do have another one though. It's kind of a 2-part thing. Jiu-jitsu, and it sounds bad when I use this word, but grind. Jiu-jitsu is not all fun and games. It's a grind, and it's uncomfortable sometimes. It's not fun. You get dinged up here and there, but I feel like that teaches you a lot about how to handle stress in life. Mm-hmm. And when you are stuck under, say, Yannick for 5 minutes and you're like, tired and sore, and that makes problems in life seem a little less drastic. Yeah. The grind, there's something to show for it, when you're done.
It really just instills a lot of just kind of like personal discipline and mental fortitude, because like you said,
that's the word I'm looking for, fortitude. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. You can sit there and you can be like, oh man, this task that I'm doing here at work sucks. Like, I don't want to do this. And you think to yourself, well, last night I went against Yannick and he just kind of crushed me. Right. This is nowhere near as bad as that.
I also think with jiu-jitsu, one thing that is really interesting, let's say you spend 2 years lifting weights. Mm-hmm. Okay. You get your bench press up to whatever, and you get in really good shape. And then something happens in your life and you can't lift. And you go 3 years without lifting. You regress right back to 0 again, mm-hmm. right? If you spend 2 years doing jiu-jitsu and life events happen and you can't train for 2 years, 3 years, and you start training jiu-jitsu again, it takes you a few weeks to get back in the groove, but all those things you learned, they're still there. Yeah. You don't lose what you've learned. So you can kind of keep building on that, and you're learning skills that you're going to have permanently.
And a lot of that stuff after a while just gets ingrained into just muscle memory. So you might suck the first day, but give it a little bit more time. It's all going to come back. You're going to be good. Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we seen somebody walk in who hasn't trained for a long time, and you're like, oh, that dude's still, he may have not trained for a year, but he's still pretty good.
Yeah. Like, I've seen people come in, and I've had somebody, I think it was I can't remember who it was, but they misled me saying, "Oh, yeah, no, he's a new guy. Go roll with him." I was like, "Okay, cool."
Who was it? Do you
It
remember?
was Tyler came in. And
Oh.
somebody pointed him out and said, "Yeah, no, go roll with him. He's brand new." And I was like, "Okay, I'll go introduce him to the gym." And then I got smushed, and I was like, "Okay, all right."
That's a perfect example of
Yeah.
Tyler. Yeah. He, life stuff happens and he can only train here and there, but yeah, he was actually my first blue belt promotion.
Yeah.
So he's definitely solid. It's too bad that he can't train more often because he would, he would be probably a purple belt by now, to be honest. He's very good, but his cardio fails him because he doesn't train very often. There's a few people like that. That's the first thing, Yeah, you're going to lose the cardio portion, but the jiu-jitsu comes back to you pretty quickly. If you go back to the first couple of episodes, I did some interviews of little kids that are in the kids class or were in the kids class, and I asked them if they had a friend at school and you wanted to try to get them to come try jiu-jitsu, what would you tell them? So I won't spoil it. You'll have to go back and find those episodes, but it's I think it was Jacoby and Reese and Natalie and maybe one other one. But to hear like a 8 or 9-year-old, 10-year-old kid to explain how to like talk someone into coming to jiu-jitsu is pretty cute. And
That's
then
fun.
Also to explain what jiu-jitsu is. Like if you had to explain someone to one of your friends what jiu-jitsu is, what would you say? It's not easy to explain.
No, it's really not.
It's because it's it's nothing like the traditional karate, taekwondo, striking martial arts. It's if I don't want to spend very much time explaining it, I usually say it's like wrestling with chokes and arm lock submissions.
Yeah.
If there's someone who's genuinely interested, I'll get into it a little further, but that's the gist of it. Submission grappling, basically. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap this one up. I appreciate you coming on. We'll talk again soon. Hey guys, Professor Hayden here. I wanted to take a second to go over the Flow Sub-Only sponsors and thank them for all that they do for us. First up is First National Bank. We do all of our banking and business with them. If you are in the Mid-Coast Maine area or really anywhere in southern Maine, definitely worth checking them out. A huge thank you to them. Thank you to Charles Schwab. If you are looking for an investor, great company to use. I can set you up specifically with one of their brokers. He does an awesome job. Thank you to Foot and Ankle Associates of Maine. They did my most recent ankle surgery, and they were absolutely amazing. They are phenomenal. They took phenomenal care of me, and the results were amazing. Epic Roll BJJ. They are the official gear company of Flow Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Huge thank you to them. Awesome gear. Definitely check them out as well. Thank you to Gym Desk. They are an amazing gym software company. They manage all of your membership dues, promotion schedules, websites, new members, everything that you need to do to operate a gym. They take a lot of the legwork out. Phenomenal system. Highly recommend them. Roll Junkie, another gear sponsor. They actually just sent me a care package. I tried the no-gi gear on last night. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Very, very high quality. Highly recommend them as well. I'll definitely be buying some more gear from them. Flow Kimonos. They're a company that we've been using for a long time for kids and adult gis. They have super light, super comfortable gis. I really, really like their kids' gis. When you're a little kid, gis are not comfortable, and they have managed to create a comfortable gi for kids, which I really, really appreciate. Digital RX Consulting. If you are in the automotive, marine industry, anything along those lines, or just marketing in general, search engine optimization, website design, any type of online digital marketing, Nick from Digital RX is phenomenal. Just message me and I can certainly hook you up with him. He's great. Jay's Barbershop. Thank you to Jay. Phenomenal place. Highly recommend if you're in the Brunswick, Bath area. Definitely check him out. Maritime Energy. They keep Flow warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Huge thank you to them for heating oil propane company. Massage by the Sea is phenomenal. If you are in Mid-Coast Maine, definitely check her out. They do an amazing job. First time is $59 for an hour massage, and it's phenomenal. And then prices are super reasonable after that. Highly, highly recommend her as well. Spine by Design Chiropractic in Rockland, Maine. Both my wife and my daughter spend a significant amount of time there, and only the best things to say about them. Muzzy Ridge Electric. Tom, one of my purple belt students, phenomenal guy. Just had him do some electrical work at my house, and everything was done on time, efficiently, clean work. Very, very good. Highly recommend Tom as well. Lastly, Key Auto Group. They're a auto group with 26 dealers on the up and down the East Coast. Automotive needs, anything like that, definitely check them out as well. Remember, you don't need to move fast. You simply need to move forward. Life presents all of us different obstacles. It's easy to give up. However, get up, smile, and put one foot in front of the other. Everything works out. I promise you. Tom DeBlas.